Hello, we're going to be talking about the project that we worked on for United Titanium as a part of AMRI this past summer. Our project was advised by Dr. Summer and Dr. Fraser from the Math and Computational Sciences Department, and we're going to begin our presentation by giving you a brief introduction of our team members.
So we have three team members, Kwan, Pavitra, and me, Kian. Kwan is a statistical and data science major, and he has experience working with a user interface before, and that was helpful when he worked on the user interface component of our project. Next is Pavitra, who is a math and computer science double major, and she has experience with Java, which is the programming language we use for this project. That was helpful overall. And she worked on the database and the graphical user components of our project. Finally, is me, Kian. I'm a math and computer science double major, and I work on the graphical user interface component. Next, we're going to talk a bit about our client.
Our client is United Titanium, which is a local company located in Wooster, Ohio. They are one of the leading companies in manufacturing and supplying the metal materials, especially for the U.S. Army. The company they want to have a global reach by the next years to advancing their technology, transforming all the healthcare and protecting the national security. Next, we're gonna give a brief review about the project background.
United Titanium works on a manufacture of metal parts, and for all the parts that they manufacture, they need to store the specification details somewhere. Previously, they used to store these details in an Excel spreadsheet, and as you can imagine, this can get tedious if there's a large amount of data. So they needed an efficient way to store this in a centralized manner and provide access to any employees who may need it. This information might be needed by an engineer who wants to enter details, or by sales professionals who need to know the number of products that need to be tested when they're talking to a client. We're going to be looking at the two different components that there are to this project now. So since United Titanium needed a way to store the data and provide access to the employees, there are two distinct components to this project. There's a database component and the graphical user interface component. So we designed a database using HyperSQL that will allow them to store their details about specifications. And we also created a graphical user interface that will allow end users at the company to interact with the database and gain access to information depending upon the role that they play in the company. We're going to be looking at the database component of the project in particular now. So the database was designed to store specification details such as the grade, alloy, product type, and the material used for the products that are manufactured at United Titanium. So there was a lot of information that they needed to store in the database. And several operations needed to be performed on the data that is stored in the database. These operations included inserting new data into the database, deleting or updating existing data, and retrieval of data. In addition to providing support for all these operations, we also included automated testing for the methods that interacted with the database, and this allowed us to ensure that our methods were working before we incorporated them into the graphical user component of the project, which we're going to discuss next.
Talking about the graphical user interface in this project, we implemented with Java apps, which is one of the framework of Java. We separated into different modes. The first one is the admin mode, where the admins are going to have a basic operation with the interactive database, like inserting, deleting, and updating with the data. The second one is the user mode, which is one of the main parts that for the client requirements. They want to have a part specification retrieval table where the sales professional, they can enter the quantity of the input and also have some specification. After that, they will have the output of the number of testing they need to be done. To enhance the user experience, we also implement some shortcut key combination like Ctrl C for copying and Ctrl V for pasting, which is more easier for us to make some copy paste action from the Excel worksheet to the database. Next one, we're gonna give a brief review about our final product.
This is the user mode for application. On the left, the user can enter data, and then when they're okay with everything, they can filter the data and get a table like this. And if they click on an item in the table, additional information will show up on the bottom. And next is the admin mode for our project. So right now we are on the product master table, which is the backbone of everything of our project. But the admin can also switch between the different table we have implemented to support the product master table. And above the table, there are some buttons which can be used to perform actions with the database, such as adding a new entry, deleting some entry, updating some entries, and searching for something in the database. Finally, we are going to give our experience with Ambry.
This experience with Amory helped me gain a lot of insight and experience. One of the things we were able to do was translate our client United Titanium's requirements into well-defined tasks that needed to be achieved with our application. Further, we were able to apply knowledge that I learned in class or from my past experiences into this project and see what it might look like for a real-world application. We were also required to regularly present our contributions and our work to other members of AMRI as well as our client at the United Titanium. So this helped us gain a lot of communication and presentation skills.
So one of the most important skill I learned from this AMRI experience is the way how to do the transition from the basic requirements from the client to the final concrete product. So the client requirements sometimes may not is unclear, and we have to discuss with both the clients and both the team members to give out the best solution to solve this problem. So that's also helped me to enhance my problem solving by applying all the knowledge I learned from the class, and also have me to gain more experience when solving a real hard problem in the real life. And since this year is really weird for the normal operation of AMRI, so we try to do the remote teamwork by having a daily checking tasks and some communication between the different in time zone, and that might be a great experience for me.
There are two things I got out of this Ambry experience. First one is the ability to translate abstract requirement into concrete features that can be implemented. In the real world, the requirements of a client are usually really vague, and being able to transform that into something that can be implemented easily enough is really valuable. And the next thing I got out is the ability to design extensible architecture. In the real world, usually we never work alone, and so being able to create something that other people can extend and build something new out of is really important to have. But thank you, Cole, for listening.